This might sound totally obvious, but the only way to make money online is to sell something. So I'm a huge fan of selling. And I've had to develop a skill of selling online. And a lot of the work I do with my students is to help them overcome their fear of selling and help them to see that it's possible to sell in an effortless, ethical, and fun way, a way in which people want to buy from you. So you'd think I'd be all about selling, and yet I've got an entire episode for you today on why I think most of you are selling too early. That's right. And by early, I mean selling publicly on your social media platforms, on YouTube, on the homepage of your website. But Graham, isn't that where you're supposed to sell? Isn't that where everybody sells? Yeah, it's where everybody seems to sell, and it's not the most effective place. It's not the most effective time. It's not the most effective way. So today I want to unpack why that is and share with you a better way to sell. Let's discuss. Welcome to episode 139 of The Graham Cochran Show, where I'm here to help you build your online business, work less, and live and give more. I'm your host, Graham Cochran. Hey, it's almost Christmas. Merry Christmas, my friends. If you celebrate Christmas, I hope that you enjoy this week with people that you love, and I hope you got a wonderful gift. I hope you got somebody else that you love a wonderful gift as well. Honestly, you are a gift to me, so just the gift of your time means a ton, and I won't waste it. I want to really help you out today. This is going to be really practical. When we think about selling, if you've never sold before, if you want to dive deep into the best way to sell and to find the best people to sell to, I want to share my entire model of this with you in depth over on my passive income workshop. This is an on-demand video workshop that I want you to watch for free. Just go to grahamcochran.com/workshop. Or if you're watching on YouTube, click the link below, open it up on a separate tab, come back here, enjoy this, and then I want you to dive into that workshop. It'll really help you understand how to sell, including a script of how I like to sell to my people. It's a simple 5-step process that you can totally swipe copy and use. It works really, really, really well. Okay, grahamcochran.com/workshop. Check that out when you got a moment, especially over the Christmas break. You got 45 minutes. It'll be worth your time. Let's talk about people selling too early. And I see this a lot. And I have students that are like, yeah, man, I try to sell on Instagram, on stories, or go live, or they'll sell in their YouTube videos, or I saw somebody selling in their YouTube community posts. And I'll just say there's nothing wrong functionally with selling there. People selling on their homepage, you get on their homepage and here's my product, buy my product. I get it. You're just trying to offer the product. But there's a couple reasons why this is not the best time to sell. It's way too early in the process. I mean, we know that sometimes we land on someone's site or we follow them on Instagram and all of a sudden they're selling something. We just feel like, hey, bro, I don't know you, And of course, that's always going to be true, but the argument would be for the content creator or the seller that I'm selling to the people that do know me, that I have built relational capital with. And that might be true, but there's another layer to this that I don't think people think about. And that is that the majority of people are not ready to buy, right? So marketers would say, and the percentages vary, but they would say if you had a pyramid or a pie, however you want to look at it in terms of the market, that could be your target market to buy whatever you're going to sell. At any given point, 3% are ready to buy, right? You sell water. This is a metaphor. You sell water. 3% are really thirsty right now. You offer water. I need it right now. I know I need it. I'm looking for it. I'm thirsty. That's only 3%, give or take, of your target market right now. So those are the people that would buy from you. If you just got on Instagram, you got on TikTok, you got on YouTube, and you said, hey, check out my course. There is a percentage of people that would probably go right to it and buy it, but that's statistically low. Think 3%. Okay, they're ready to buy. Then you've got another group that's in the information gathering mode. And I've seen numbers anywhere of 18, 19, but 17%, right? Say 17% of people they're not ready to buy, but they are gathering information. So if they're in the fitness weight loss space, they're not ready to buy a weight loss course, but they're They're checking out some YouTube channels. They're trying different methods. They know they need help in this space, and they know they're not going to be able to do it on their own. So they're kind of gathering information about who's going to be their coach, who's going to help them. 17% are in information gathering mode. The next level down, they're not gathering information, but they're problem aware. And we would say about 20% of people in your market are problem aware. They know they have a problem. They haven't done much with it yet. But like, yeah, I know I need to lose weight. and I know I have a problem. Or I know that the way I'm eating is unhealthy. Like, I know there's a better way to eat, right? Problem aware. So that's that group, 37%, the 17% that are gathering information, the 20% that are at least problem aware. That's a huge group of people. That's more than 10 times the size of the group that's ready to buy now, that they're not going to buy from you directly off of Instagram. They're not going to buy off of your homepage. They're not ready. That's a huge portion. And then the remaining 60% are not problem aware. So they could be a perfect fit for your product, but they're not even aware they have a problem. They're definitely not going to buy from you if you just post on social or on your homepage or on YouTube, right? They're not going to buy because they're not even problem aware. So you could spend all your time trying to just hawk your products and sell them, but you're really only selling to a small group of people. That's the 3% of people that are ready to buy. And that's hard because you're going to run out of people. And it's going to miss this huge opportunity of the remaining 97% of your target market. And especially the 37% who are gathering information and who are aware of the problem, but they're just not ready yet. Those people, that's where your money's going to be. And then I would argue that you can still sell to the remaining 60% who are just not problem aware yet. But there's a way to do that. And we don't do that by selling publicly. We do that by 4 things: attracting them, educating them, nurturing them, and then calling them to action. Okay? You got to attract them first. You have to educate them. Even if you don't sell education, you need to educate them. That's why I'm so big on content marketing, because education is the future of selling. Okay? Think about how many Facebook ads you've seen where they're trying to explain to you, did you know that if you eat tomatoes, it's actually killing your metabolism and blah, 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 blah. And they're going to sell you some product, but they're educating you through the sales copy, because we love to learn and we love to be gathering insider data. So it's a classic sales copy tool to actually educate the prospect. Even if you're not selling education, you're bringing them to your side. Like, did you know? Let me teach you something helpful. So obviously we need to attract them first, duh. But then education is huge if you want to sell. And then you need to nurture. Nurturing is like taking them from just, and we'll talk about this in a second, taking them from just learning something to being like, wow, I really trust him. Wow, I really respect her. Wow, I like the way she does things. Man, I feel comfortable. And then you can call them to take action. Then you can offer them something. Don't mishear me though. We're going to go through this method right now in detail. And then I'm going to explain why this works and why this is smart. But don't mishear me. I'm not saying take a long time to sell. That actually is bad too. I think the ideal people are really close to buying, but they may not be ready yet and they may not realize it. So we're going to skip the top 3% because they're going to buy no matter what you do. But the next 37%, I think will buy way sooner than you think, but you can't sell to them publicly right away. You have to still go through this process, but that can be a very short time frame. Time is not really the issue as much as the process. Does that make sense? Okay, so here's my selling method, and here's what I've been doing for 12 years, and here's what I teach my students. Number 1, attract your target market through content. That's what I'm doing here. Hopefully I'm attracting you. You're listening to this podcast, you're watching this video. You want to know, am I selling too early? What does it even mean? Like, tell me, like, what's the best time to sell, Graham? I'm creating this piece of content and I'm attracting you. You discovered me. You found me. We're here. Hey, it worked. Okay. It worked. You got me. I got you. We're together in this moment. So step 1, I attract you through content. So I like to use educational content as my attractional tool. You don't have to. It could be a case study. It could be, dissecting the news in your niche. It could be entertainment. but you need something attractional, and content works for that. But you need to attract your target market through content, of course. Number 2 is I start to sell, but I don't sell something paid. I sell something free. So I use sell in quotation marks. Sell, offer, whatever, them something free that solves an immediate problem or helps them achieve or move closer to a desire or a goal. And I do this through what we call a lead magnet. What did I offer you at the very beginning of this episode? My free passive income workshop. It's an on-demand video workshop, and I want you to have it for free. And what did I do? I pointed you to where it is. That workshop, to be able to watch it, you have to enter in your email address and join my list. Okay? So that's the first thing I'm selling you. I'm not selling you a product here, am I? Have I asked you for money? No. If you go and watch any of my content, 99.9% of it, am I asking you for money? No. But I am selling you something, every piece of content. I'm selling you a free training. It could be a video workshop like it was in this episode. It could be a PDF. It could be a quiz. Something that you can find valuable. I want to educate you with something powerful for free. But what I'm getting for it in exchange, instead of money, is I'm getting your email address so that I can follow up with you. So I can do the third part of this process, the selling method, which is nurturing. So now I can nurture you, and you can nurture your email subscribers through email. And what does nurture look like? Over deliver, adding more value, teaching more content. Just loving on your people. It's very simple. And then step 4, I can then offer my products to you, and you can do this to your people on your list. So we attract through content marketing. So put out content regularly. That's why I'm a bigger fan of evergreen content that won't disappear. So videos on YouTube, blog posts that show up in Google searches, podcast episodes that continue to circulate. I'm less of a fan of a TikTok video or an Instagram reel because they disappear. So you do the work once and it works for those 24 hours, but then unless it goes viral, which is very hard to do and is not your goal, it disappears. I'd rather do the work once and it get discovered more and more and more over time because it's attached to search, YouTube video, blog post, or a podcast that has maybe a blog post attached to it as well. So attract through content, offer a lead magnet, something super valuable. So the thing you sell publicly is for free. It's a lead magnet. Why? So you can build that list and nurture them and offer them your products privately through email. That's where I do all my selling. I make over $1 million a year doing this. I've done this twice in 2 niches, 2 different businesses. Not selling publicly, selling privately after attracting, educating, and nurturing people. Okay? Now, this can happen over a week inside of an email funnel, over 2 weeks. This could happen in a couple of hours. Think about this. If you go and watch my video workshop, I'll be straight up with you. If you watch it, you will have gone from a piece of content that I've attracted. So this is attractional. Let's say you go watch that workshop. So now that's step 2. I'm selling you the workshop. It's free, but I'm offering it to you. You give me the email address and now you can go watch it. Now I'm educating you. That's step 2. And I'm also nurturing, because inside of that video workshop, there's like so much goodness in there. There's like more in there. Like I'm educating, because that's a long video. It's not only educating you on something, it's also nurturing you, because we're spending 45, 50 minutes together via video. You're hearing my voice. You're learning a lot more about me. At the beginning of that workshop, I share a little bit about my story. Like it was rough, where I've been able to come to. I share the model. I'm sharing swipe files and copy. I'm sharing strategies. We're doing the math together. I'm helping you build your business. So I'm educating and nurturing all within 45 minutes. And at the end of that, straight up, I am offering you something to buy. Okay, I am pitching something at the end of that workshop. And I do that because I've earned the right by showing you so much in depth for free and taking you along this journey and nurturing you. I'm offering you something to buy. You don't have to buy it, but I'm still offering it to you. That happens. That in theory could happen within 60 minutes of you meeting me. Within 60 minutes, you could see this, Go opt in, watch the video workshop, get a ton of value, get some nurture, and then be offered a product privately. Now that was pretty quick. But do you see what the difference was? Is it went through this process, attracting, educating, and nurturing, and then offering. So that's probably the quickest, right? Is like within an hour, within a few minutes of you meeting me. But the majority of people are going to go through my email funnel and be educated and nurtured a bit more, maybe over a day, maybe it's 5 days, maybe it's longer, and then they'll buy a product. The reason this works and the reason this is smart, there's 3 reasons. Number 1, go back to if we chopped up your target market, right, into the 4 groups of people. Remember, only 3% or so are like ready to buy today. So would you rather put all of your effort to try to get those 3%? I could make a case for it like, man, they're going to be easy to convert because they're ready. They know they have a problem. They've gathered information. And if you show up in their world, they're ready to buy. I get it. I'm all about high conversion rates. But I would say that if you want more customers, there's a bigger pool of people further down the pie chart or further down the pyramid. And it's blue ocean. There's so many more people. So you can convert more prospects into customers. That's reason number 1 why this is smart. Because these are people who weren't ready to buy right away, but they will be if you just educate and nurture. They will be. So you get the 3% at the top, and then the next 37%, or the information gatherers, or at least the problem aware. That's 10x the times of people, 10x, right? More than 10x. It's like 12x. The number of people that are going to be your future customers. And that excludes the problem unaware. Those people, I think, are still untapped riches as well. But there's so many more people. So I think through this method, you can convert so many more people because you're not sharing a message that falls on deaf ears. You're bringing them into your ecosystem that's then going to do the work for you to turn those 37% into the 3% who are ready to buy. But now you got 37% of the market that's ready to buy because you did the work to make them, to bring them a little closer to the point of, I am ready for an offer, and they'll buy from you. So number 1, you can convert more prospects into customers. Number 2, not everyone's going to buy from you. Sorry to say. But if you don't convert them, if they don't buy in your sequence, whether it's a day, a week, 2 weeks, whatever, in your funnel, you can at least follow up with them directly via email whenever you want. There's no middleman. You don't have to hope they jump on Instagram next week or next month or next year. You don't have to hope that they saw your YouTube community post. You don't have to hope that the algorithm doesn't change and they no longer see your posts. Like, do you remember when on Instagram you would post something and 60, 70% of your followers would see it, and we were like wishing there was a higher percentage, and then that dropped to 3 to 4% of people? Yeah, because Instagram can do whatever the heck they want. They can change the algorithm. That doesn't happen with email. When you have their email address, you send an email, it always goes to their inbox. There's a chance it could go to spam. Yeah. There's a chance that they won't open it. Sure. But there's no middleman. You see? There's no one in between you and them. It's just between you and them. So you have a much higher chance of reaching them than you do on social because it goes directly to their inbox. So again, that's the second reason why this is smart. Even if they don't buy, I can at least follow up with them directly. And number 3, because now they're on our email list, and because we can now follow up, we know that more of step 2 and 3 of this selling method, more education every single week, more nurturing every single week will lead to more conversions over time. I tell this story every once in a while, but I jumped on Ramit Sethi's email list way back in 2006 when he was just blogging about personal finance, and I was learning all about how to handle money and grow wealth back then as a newlywed 22-year-old, 23-year-old guy. And I was all about his content then. And then I kind of moved on from his content, but I was on his email list because he had a lead magnet, and I would see his emails every week. And I would see them come in, and I didn't open a majority of them because a lot of them weren't relevant to me at the time, but I always thought they were valuable. And every once in a while I'd open 1 or 2 up, and they were always good. So 2006, fast forward 7 years later, he sent out an email about this new course he was launching. It was a business course. And so now I had a business, and I was very interested in the way he ran his business, and I respect his model and what he's built. And so I wanted to take it. And it was a $2,000 course, and I bought it on the spot 7 years later. Why? I didn't buy anything in 2006, but because he continued to educate and nurture, 7 years later, I gave him $2,000. And that led to me buying almost every one of his courses, right? So he's made a ton of money off of me because he was using this method. He didn't sell to me off of his blog post way back in 2006. He didn't sell to me off of a podcast or anything he was doing. He offered me education, some lead magnet. I don't know what the lead magnet was back then, but it worked. I opted in, and then he continued to educate and nurture me for years. And he offered lots of stuff along the way. It just wasn't the right fit for me. Never bothered me, but it wasn't for me until it was for me. And then I became a customer of his for life, and gave him tens of thousands of dollars. So this is the reason why email marketing works. This is the reason why, and I think to quote Ramit, I think he's the one that said this, it just crystallized for me. I'd rather own the relationship than the sale. I'd rather own the relationship than the sale. If I'm on Instagram, I don't want to sell you something. I want the relationship with you so that I can sell to you forever down the road. But more than that, I can build you up and educate you and nurture you so I can know that I'm actually helping you even if you never buy from me. So I'm going to offer my lead magnet on Instagram. I'm going to offer my lead magnet here on YouTube or on my podcast. I'm not going to sell a product. It's way too early in the relationship. I need to educate and nurture first, but that can be a quick process. We could do that today, or we could do that in 24, 72 hours. We could do that this week. That's fine. But it's still the right method, in my opinion. And it's the more future-proof method because I don't trust the algorithms of any of these platforms to stay the same because they don't. So what you're used to seeing in terms of engagement now, do not bank on it. Build that email list before it's too late. Follow up, educate, nurture, and then sell. You're going to get that 37 all the way up to the 97% of the market that is not ready to buy today, but they might if you just walk them through the system a little bit deeper. There you go. So leave me a comment if you're watching on YouTube and let me know, and it's okay if you're doing this, are you selling publicly on Instagram, on YouTube, versus trying to get the relationship through a lead magnet and capture their email address? Or are you selling this way privately via email? How's that going for you? Either way, how's it going for you? Let me know. Would you consider this method if you haven't already, focusing on email list building based off of what I said today or not? Do you have any more questions? Let me know in a comment below. And if you want to see how this works in my video workshop, it's a little meta. I'll teach you how to build your business, but also you can see how I'm building my business. Go to grahamcochran.com/workshop or click the link below if you're watching on YouTube. It's an amazing training. I'll walk through a ton of good stuff. And yes, I will offer my course at the end of it. It's an amazing course and it'll only help you more. And it's a steal of a deal. You don't have to buy it. I still love you. I still want you to watch this workshop because it's legit. But you might learn something too about how to implement some of this stuff in your own business and how to think about when is the right time to sell. All right. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for listening. I really hope this helped. I'm just trying to serve you every single week as powerfully as I can. I hope you have an amazing Christmas season. I've said this before, but so much good stuff coming up in 2022 that I cannot wait to share with you. I am gearing up to help you as powerfully as I possibly can next year. If you haven't reached all your business goals this year, stay with me next year. I'm trying to roll out everything I possibly can to help you. I want next year to be the year you reach your financial and business goals. And I'm going to be your coach to coach you every step of the way. So I'm pumped for it. Good stuff coming, including my book, How to Get Paid for What You Know. It's available for pre-sale right now on Amazon or wherever you buy books. So check it out. Have an amazing week. Merry Christmas. See you in another episode real soon.